We are all familiar with the halacha that one is not supposed to eat himself, start his own meal before he feeds his animals. However, the Sefer Chasidim asks from Parshas Chayei Sarah, where we find that Eliezer, that Rivkah gave Eliezer to drink before she gave to drink the camal. And there's a number of yotzei min haklal, there's a number of halachas that seem to come out from this stira, where on one place we see that the animals go first, and by Rivkah we found that Eliezer went first. Okay. First the Gemara. The Gemara is the Gemara in Brachos. The Gemara in Brachos says, the Gemara in Brachos daf mem amud aleph. The Gemara says, Amar Rav Asar Amar Rabbi Amar Rav Asal Adam sheyoichal koydem sheyitain meichel behemto shenemar v'nasati Esav b'sodchel v'emtecha. It's a pasuk in Varim Shemayim, part of Kriya Shema. V'nasati Esav b'sodchel v'emtecha, and then afterwards the pasuk continues v'yachalta v'savata. So first the Eibishter says he's going to give grass for the animals, and then after that v'yachalta v'savata. After that we will eat. Humans will eat. So from there we learn that that one has to give food to his animals before he eats himself. But the Sefer Chasidim asks from our parsha, where we find by Rivkah that the Eliezer made this whole siman. He wanted to figure out who's the right daughter-in-law for Avraham Avinu. And he said the one he's going to ask to drink, and the one that says shesei v'gam ligmalecha eshoiv, that's going to be the one. That's going to be the one. That's the correct shidduch for Yitzchak. And over there in the pasuk says that Rivkah first. She first gave to drink to Eliezer, and then afterwards, in the next pasuk, the first pasuk was Perek Chav Daled pasuk Yud Ches, where she said Vatay Meshasei Adoni, and then afterwards in pasuk Yud Tes she says Vatchala Ashkois Vatay Magam Legamalecha Eshoev, and Vatmar, and she gives the drink to the Gemalim. So we see that first she gave to Eliezer, and then after that she gave to the. First she gives to Eliezer, and then afterwards she gives to the Gemalim. So how does that shtim with the Gemara in Brachos, where the Gemara in Brachos says that one has to first give to the animals, and then after that sit down to eat for himself. So the Sefer Chasidim is brought down in the Magen Avroham. The Magen Avroham in Hilchos B'tzias Hapas. Simen Kuf Samach Zayin Sifkaten in the Magen Avroham Sifkaten Yud Ches. So the Sefer Chasidim says Lishtois Adam Koidem Kida Ashkecham Berivka. That means like this, that there's a difference. There's a difference between eating and drinking. That by eating the animal goes first. And that's v'yachalt. That first it says v'nasati Esav b'sodchel v'emtecha v'yachalta v'savata, which is talking about food. And Mashenkin by Rivkah over there was talking about drink, and by drink by giving to drink to Eliezer and to the Gemalim over there, Eliezer comes first. And that's why, and that would shtim within the end of the pasuk later on when they come into the house. It says that they gave first to the Gemalim. And then the next pasuk they give food, but first they give food to the Gemalim, and then afterwards to the people, because of the Sefer Chasidim's rule that by food animals come first, and by drink humans come first. And there's a whole there's many different explanations. What would be the pshat like the Sefer Chasidim? One of the reasons I would like to suggest, the reason is because because it takes a while for people to eat. People sit down to eat. It takes them a while. It doesn't go 1, 2, 3. In the meantime, the animals hungry too. So therefore, we first give the gmal and we put the food in front of the animals. Let them start eating too, and then we could sit down to eat. Mashenka, by drinking, a person drinks. It takes him a couple of seconds. It's real quick, chick chack. So we over there, a person could go first. That's the Sefer Chasidim. The Chasam Sofer and the Ksav Sofer and Rav Moshe and the Tshuva. Rav Moshe's in Archaim Chelik Beis Siman and Beis. They say a different pshat. They want to say a different pshat in the stira. That in one place it says V'yachalta v'savato v'erachta, which in Nasati Esav b'sodchel v'amtecha v'yachalta v'savato, which seems to say that animals come first. And by Rivkah, it seems we see that Eliezer came first. So they say that the difference is if it's your animals. If it's your animals, Esav b'sodchel v'amtecha, your animals, you have to give your animals first. However, by Rivkah, these gemalim didn't belong to Rivkah. They were Eliezer's gemalim. So if they're Eliezer's gemalim, she has to give, her chesed would tell her to give to Eliezer first. That's their pshat. Now, first of all, it won't explain why later on in the parsha they ended up giving the gemalim to eat first. And then afterwards they gave food. If there's a rule that for somebody else's animals, the person comes before the animals. So then when they came home and they were giving out food, they should have given the food to Eliezer and his entourage before they gave to the gemalim. Because again, the gemalim didn't belong to Rivkah's family. And also, like that pshat, I think there's even a bigger kasha. The whole source that animals come before humans is from the pasuk of V'nasati Esav b'sodchel v'emtecha v'yachalta v'savata. That V'nasati Esav b'sodchel v'emtecha, I will give grass for your animals, and then afterwards v'yachalta v'savata, then you would eat. Who's that talking about? That's talking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's not talking about the human. V'nasati Esav b'sodchel v'emtecha, I will give Esav. So if it says I will give Esav b'sodchel v'emtecha, again it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So again it seems like it's somebody else. It's not his own gemalim, so to speak. It's not and still Hashem says that he's going to give Esav b'sodchel v'emtecha first, and then afterwards the gemal, and then afterwards v'chalta v'savata, afterwards humans. I would like to suggest a third pshat, and this third pshat would also explain a little bit the psukim and the conversation, the back and forth between Eliezer and Rivkah. Because Eliezer first said that I'm going to say, well, he made his tefillah and he said that I'm going to say whoever I'm going to go ahead and ask somebody Hagmini na ma'im mikadech, and whoever comes and says Shesei v'gam ligmalecha eshoiv, that take the drink and I'll give some to your gemalim too, that's the one. That was Eliezer's simon, and that was what Eliezer said in the tefillah, and that's what he says later on when he relates the story later on to Rivkah's family. However, that's not exactly what happened. First it says he runs over and tells her Agmini na ma'im mikadech, and then she says Vatayma shesei adoni, drink, and she right away gives him to drink. Then the next pasuk, Vatachalash koisa Vatayma gam ligmalecha eshoiv. But first she gave him to drink, and then after that she offered and gave to drink the gemal. And I would like to explain it like this: that when somebody, even if the animals are not your animals, But if it's your responsibility, if you're the one that undertook or invited somebody to drink or eat, so then you have to somebody and his animals, so you have to give the animals first. However, before you invited the animals, if you just offer somebody to drink, or if somebody asks you to drink, you only have that person to give to drink. You can give them to drink. You don't have to look around if anybody in the whole neighborhood has an animal that didn't drink yet. When Eliezer asked for a drink, the first thing that was in front of her is, Eliezer's thirsty, let me give her to drink. At that point, there's no animals and people. There was only Eliezer in front of her. And that should be always. If somebody didn't undertake to feed any animals, so why should he put the animals before the people? So Eliezer asked to drink. What did Moshe say? And she can't go and start offering the animals. That was not her responsibility, and she was never asked for that. Eliezer asked for a drink. Chayei Sarah. That's right away. She gave him to drink, and she gave him to drink. Then she offered. At that point, she already offered to give to the gemalim, and she gave the gemalim. And maybe that's why she didn't even say Shesei v'gam v'gemalecha eshev right away. Because had she said Shesei v'gam v'gemalecha eshev and she had undertaken to do both, then she would have had to give the gemalim first. Right now he asked for a drink, she gave him to drink. Afterwards, she offered to give the gemalim a drink, and that was also her undertaking, and she gave the gemalim. But Eliezer had to drink before that. Later on, when they come home, now she had already invited both the animals. Right? She had told them. She said, "Come to eat by us. Gam tevin gam mispay ravimanu. Come, this food for you and your animals." Now it says vayitin tevin nu mispay, and then afterwards food, because now she had both responsibilities. When she had a responsibility for both the animals and Eliezer, now the animals come first, and then comes Eliezer. I mean, if this is the pshat, then it'll be nafkamina in every day. I mean, when it comes to pets, or somebody has animals. If somebody's looking after somebody else's animals, then he would have to give the animals to eat first. But if a guest comes with a pet, and that pet had not, and nobody offered to give the pet food yet. So you have a guest, you have to give the guest first food. If you invited both of them to eat, then you have to give the pet before the guest, because now they're both your responsibility. Now you had undertaken both, so now you should give the pet before the guest.